Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Attack on Productions. Fluff here, coming back at you with the deck profile. Been kind of a hot minute, but before we get into that, please make sure to like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff. Today we're talking about Hellku. I played this a few weeks at our locals. I really like this deck. We had a few requests for this deck profile, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it at you. Just to talk about the leader real quick, because I don't know that we've done a ton of discussion about this leader. The main important thing on the front side that you want to consider is when you reveal a card off the top of your deck, place it in the drop area, and play a skill, and play a card by its own skill, then you are able to go on ahead and awaken, which is generally how we're going to awaken, because on the backhand side, you're going to draw 2 and then place 1 on top of your deck when you attack. So those are the big things to consider. On the back side, you do also have an activate main spirit boost where you get to reveal the top card of your deck, place it in the drop area. So that's one way that we'll get to play our cards off. So that's the leader. Looking into the deck profile, we've got Android 18, Defender of Heroes. This is going to be our Unison, if I could get the cards here. We do play this at a 4 of. It's kind of an enabler for the deck. It mostly lets us siphon and cycle and filter and find the cards that we want to be able to find, you know, readjusting the top few cards of our deck. On her +2, on the -2, you get to draw 3 cards, which is huge. Place 2 of the cards back on top. Place 2 cards from your hand back on top of the deck. And then if she has a marker removed by Spirit Boost, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and tap it. That doesn't come up all the time, but it is relevant enough to remember in case it does come up. So we play her to 4 of. Getting into the Hellku package, we do play 4 A Trip to Hell. This is pretty much the play enabler for the deck. You want to be seeing these as early as possible, and you want to see these in concurrent with the battle cards that you can play off of them. So, A Trip to Hell on Activate Main for 1 yellow energy. You get to draw 2 cards, choose 1 card in your hand, place it back on top of your deck, reveal the top card of your deck, and place it in the drop area. And then for Activate Main for free, if your leader is a yellow, you get to reveal the top card of your deck, place it in the drop area. So if our deck is sacked and we know what's going, we can activate Trip to Hell for free. If we have a target in our hand and we want it on top of the deck, then we can go ahead and do that instead for 1 energy. So 4 of these. Then we play 4 Trunks the Brawler. This is just another way to get our effects off. That's the main reason that we're playing him, because of his Activate Main Spirit Boost 1, where you would get to reveal the top card of your deck, place it in the drop area. So we would stack our deck with either our Unison or our leader, use Trunks as Activate Main, and get it going from there. Otherwise, he is a cantrip when you play him, so just keep that in mind. Then I do play 3 of Pan the Brawler. This is just a blocker, and if you can get the effect off, you give your leader crit before your leader swings. However, I find generally when we're able to play her, our leader has already swung for the turn. So generally you're not going to be giving your leader crit, but she is a blocker to have on field, which can be disruptive for a lot of matchups. And then the most important piece is SS4 Son Goku the Brawler. This is our main aggressive piece of the deck. So his effect costs 1 energy. If he's revealed and placed in the drop area, you can play him. When he's played, he chooses one of the opponent's battle cards and rest mode KOs it. 20,000 double strike card. There's just nothing to not like about this card. I don't run the 19k Goku. I don't run the Goten. I don't run the Gohan. This is the entirety of the package that we run in this deck, and it's just enough. Kind of other tech choices that we run. I do run 3 Lord Slug. And then to complement, I run 3 Super Namekian Lord Slug. These are control pieces for a lot of decks that want to draw. If you think about stuff like GT, a lot of their cycle is based on putting their Saiyans under their Unison, so being able to establish a slug early against them keeps their hand size small and keeps their Unison small. It also keeps their ability to play their cards kind of limited, so we are playing a 3-3 package there. Just being able to get it off once is enough. Then I do play 3 Turles, all too easy, because this card is cracked. It is basically like the Goku that we're playing off the Trip to Hell, with the exception that it can either pop 2 cards or pop a card and draw a card. But it's another 20,000 double strike that is just advantageous for us to play, and it only costs us 2 energy, which is great. So being able to see this card is important. Then we play 2 Son Goku Absolute Annihilation. This card came out in set 10, is an absolute bear for a lot of decks to deal with, and is really game defining in and of itself. If you can board this guy on the field, you never really swing with him unless you're trying to go for game, but your opponent has to spend an additional energy to activate any of their extra cards. So if you think about like the free negates that generate a blocker token, those now cost 1 energy. If you think about Dimension Magic, that now costs blue 2, and then they restand 2, so they don't get a net energy advantage off of that. It's just really good to have this card green. Can't activate Dormant Potential without tapping down a card. So just super, super, super important to have this guy out, and can really make the difference between you being able to close a game and not being able to close a game. More control pieces. I do play 3 Vegeta Prideful Transformation. Love this new art out of the History of Vegeta set. But we do usually have our Unison up. Some matches the Unison gets zerged down, and if that's the case, it is what it is. These just become easy charge targets at that point. But at any point that you do have your Unison up and your opponent plays a card, you can use this, tap it down, and then you've got a KO target when you go to play your Goku or your Turles. Then we play 3 Robotic Riposte. Just another negate in the deck. We do play a fair amount of extra cards, including the Trip to Hell that I discussed earlier. So these get turned on very early. You could easily play this at a 4 of. I find that 3 is enough. In most matches, you end up cycling enough through your deck that you can pretty much find all 3 of these over the course of a match. And if you're getting off 3 Robotic Riposte, you're probably winning that game. So 3 of these because they're great floodgates. Super combos, we run 3 Krillins before comeback, and then I run the Piccolo Gohan Newfound Might. So this is our 4 super combos that we run in the deck. The 3 are just for draws. The Piccolo Gohan is for last minute push slash drawing and tapping that we might need to do on entry and on combo, and on attack. So this card is actually really fantastic in the list. So don't sleep on this card. This card is fantastic in a number of decks. So we've got those for our super combos, and then we've run 2 Swift Retaliation Cooler. If we can catch our opponent off guard when we're swinging with a double strike, and they go to negate, you just counter the negate. Your attack goes through. You combo your hand out. You win. Cooler is amazing. I've heard a lot of people refer to this as a problem card in the format. And I can kind of agree with that just because of how easily this card stills games. I would say 75% of games won are because I had a Cooler in hand when I needed to have one. So we do run 2 of those just to make sure that we see it. And then I run 2 Son Goku Realm of the Dragon Fist. What can I say about this card? It's absolutely fantastic. The only time this card kind of sucks is if your opponent has the free blocker negates. Because those blockers, because they don't have an energy cost, can still block this card's attack. Though if you can catch your opponent correctly with this card, this can be a massive way to close out the game with the dual attack double strike 25,000. So just keep that in mind. We do play 2 of these. Moving on to our extra cards, I do play 3 of the Realm of the Gods Black Kamehameha. This card is super disruptive. It can clear out problem cards during your turn, or it can tap down 2 on your opponent's turn and draw you a card. Then I run 2 Forbidden Power. I like the versatility of Forbidden Power over Flying Nimbus personally, where it does have that activate battle that Flying Nimbus does not have. Then I'm running 2 blocker negates in the form of Frieza Army Reinforcement. You just have to play them. I feel like they're a necessary evil in the game right now. We're running 2 Vegeta's Final Flash. This is a great way to get your opponent to overcommit in a combo, though I know in our meta particularly, when people are playing against yellow, they're just expecting you to have Final Flash, so they'll never really overcommit to any one attack. And then last one is going to be Power of a Super Saiyan. If I could run more of this card, I absolutely would, but it is limited. It's limited for a reason. This card is absolutely busted. It's always impactful anytime that you see it. So that is the main deck. I think the main card count there is 54. We do cycle a lot. I kind of wanted to go over my sideboard because we do play best of one sideboard at our locals. So we use Piccolo Demonic Transformation. This is going to disrupt Unisons that are coming into play if I know I'm playing a Unison-centric deck. I do run Bergamo Ferocious Roar. This is just if I know that I'm playing against a more defensive deck, something like blue, I'll bring this in for that. In tandem with the Bergamo, we'll bring in Poutines if I know if I'm playing against a deck that plays a lot of their battle cards by skills and is really reliant on that. Like if they're only playing 1 or 2 battle cards per turn, then I'll do this. So 2 Poutine there. And then if we're playing a more aggressive matchup and the Forbidden Powers are not enough, I've sided in 2 Nimbus just to bring those in. Tyrannical Blow for matches that they will probably be good in. Unison-centric matches that play battle cards or low to the ground battle cards that also have a Unison on the field. For Unison-centric decks like Cooler and Drip Coup, I really like using Release from Evil. Release from Evil is also really good against Gamma, because if they swing with their lead, you release from Evil, and then they don't get their restand 3 at the end of the turn, pretty much. So there's that. I run another Goku, just in case I'm needing to close the game out a little bit quicker than I would normally want to. And then I run 2 Time Magics for decks that might happen to run dual attackers. So that's the sideboard. That's the deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always interested to hear what you guys have to say. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know in the comments below. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and fluff out.